Right, so here we are. Looks like I'm not going to make the big fly-in later this evening. It's 1 o'clock our time, and unfortunately falling asleep already, so not the best, unfortunately. About 10 o'clock our time, but I thought I'd load up the flight plan that you'd taken the time to do and just have a quick look at the area. Just put it on there. Let's see if we can get the sun behind us. I think it would look better. So I'm going to say I learned quite a bit this week via the forum. You got me onto the littlenavmapps, which, as you can see, I've now got running, and I've managed to not only do a few of my own routes over here in England, but managed to load in the one I should have been doing tonight, but there's no way I can stay awake that long, it seems. But perhaps I'll mix up with a few of the UK guys and manage to do a UK fly-in. I've only flown a few times with other people. One of my old helicopter buddies, Rob Coltas, and I did a very early video when Microsoft first came out, and we managed to stick together around the Saint-Tropez area. But I suppose I'd always considered myself a totally helicopter buff and pilot, but I'm gradually getting to grips with these bush planes and managing to get them down most of the time in one piece. Generally approaches are still too fast, and I haven't quite got the stall thing quite there yet for a really short landing, but it's been good fun, I have to say. So let's get the speed up, take ourselves off. Now I'm not sure if this is the only way of doing autopilot or make it follow to the next thing, but that's what I've used so far. This was the very first time I put a flight plan in when I got littlenavmap. I'd never ever used one before that. I'd only flown from airports I'd found, and just kept low and followed the canyon or the river to wherever it went. So this was all something new to me. And of course on the helicopter side in X-plane and everything, it's all low level flying, and really you just follow where there's a track, a gap in the trees, and that's it. So learned something else. Never thought I would get into this side of things, but it's gradually getting to me. If it wasn't for the bush planes though, don't think I would. So we have a course to follow. I keep flaps off for most of the flight. I know that dropping the flaps down one notch and then I can do much slower approaches. I've got one of these Puma Flight Trainer Pros, and so the stick and rudder is absolutely perfect. It works really well, and then I've got the throttle on twist grip, but then the collective arm, as it goes up and down, does the, as you will see, the flaps there. So it actually works really well with these bush planes. Very impressed so far. And for those that people that follow my other channel will know I have a condition called dystonia that causes my head and hands to shake quite violently sometimes, and also my vocal cords to change. And the longer stick on the Puma really does help. It means I can rest my hand on my lap, and it's far less shaky. It's trembling all the time, but you don't tend to notice it, and I can let go and then put my hand back on. So it's a big investment, the old Flight Trainer Pro. I managed to get second hand, and for helicopters, I'd built all my own systems before, but buying the right thing was the right thing to do. And going back to a joystick, I find that because of the short range of the lever, I've only got an X52, the shakes show up quite badly. Now also in VR I would normally be wearing a neck collar to rest my head and stop the head shaking, but I'm actually quite good today, so I'm hoping it's not making you feel ill, any of this flying around. But I'd also recommend it if you do a lot of VR flying. Either one of those soft neck pillows you use on the aircraft, a bit hot in the summer, but it gives you a chance to sort of deaden out that movement when you're in VR, and it becomes much smoother. And also, if you don't mind leaning your head a bit, it becomes quite restful. You do 2 or 3 hours with a headset on, it's amazing how stressful it can get. It does on mine, and the more stressed I get, the more tremor appears. So the neck brace goes underneath, supports the headset and the neck really well. But we've got some great scenery around this part. I'm not going to go all the way, obviously, it's just to show that I would have made it if the time difference wasn't what it was. And I'm sure none of you would have been flying in a dead straight line. So let's go and have a look at some of these. Let's put one flap on, slow it down a bit. Drop the throttle. Now I've just finished about 2 hours on X-plane flying helicopters, which is, as you've heard, my thing. I've always been interested in them. But even with the orbit scenery and everything else, it just doesn't compare. There's a lot of talk about flight dynamics and everything else. Oh, look what we got down there. See, it surprises you now and again, and I did not know. Funny how they like walking in the river. Might be moaning about the flight dynamics, but certainly from, I'm gonna say, somebody who just likes VR, having fun. Might not be totally realistic, but it will get better. And from my point of view, I have to say the visual experience is far better than any talk about the proper flight dynamics. And some of these add-ons that are coming on, from what I read and even I've tended to notice, have just made huge differences. And I think another 6 months with the VR, we'll have a lot more utilities coming in. We won't be having to run such silly frame rates and other devices all the time. By the way, this is a Rift S. It's using the Oculus tray tool at that ridiculously low 18, which smooth ASW that is, and about 1.4 on the sharpening. But this is just beautiful. So, I hope you guys later on have as much fun. Now I'm assuming somewhere between 60 and 80 is a cruise speed. As long as you're not doing anything too drastic, is sort of quite sensible for this beast. The GR Rebel or Gravel. You seem to be able to just power your way out of any problems. But obviously being a bit heavier, and I'd been using the Cub and I think they call it the yellow one, the sailing, for flying around up till then. But this I absolutely love. It takes off in about 10 foot, and once or twice I've got it to land in about 50 foot, so not too bad at all. So I'm being told I've got to go that way. It'd be nice to be able to switch that marker off in the 3D headset and just have the waypoints come up in the distance. I'm not actually sure I'd be able to follow the map and view at the same time, so but what a beautiful area. And I've seen giraffes. I have seen the elephants, I saw them once, but I've never seen the giraffes, and when they can sort of appear out of the blue like that, that's when you realise what a great program they're putting together. Being such a, I'm going to say, X-Plane fan, I was drawn to Microsoft One really more by the artificial intelligence side of things and what they were talking about doing than actually the flying of the models, because I knew helicopters weren't going to be in there, and the ability to fly anywhere, anytime, sort of any place, pretty much for free compared to many other simulators. I personally feel they've come such a long way in such a short time, even with that development time we didn't know about. But I just cannot wait for us to get helicopters in this. I'll come flying with you bush plane people in the helicopters, and that'll really liven things up. So let's take the flaps off, because from what I understand it will go faster now. We put them right up on the red. Let's head over to the marker where we should be going. But if anyone is or does bother watching this video and they do VR flying, the little marker that comes up when you go off track there, 14.68, telling you the direction to go in. If you know of a way of switching that off, so you just see those big markers, let us know in the comments. I'd be really interested. So we've gone 4-bore, we're in the red on the engine. We're going to go for my steep climb. We'll get it up there and then I'll probably land it and call it quits. But I'll do the full run of this at some point because it's certainly a spectacular scenery. And I should also say thanks for all the guys on the forum and the Discord for answering my questions, which a lot of novices will be asking because you get used to one system and you're suddenly thrown into a different one and everything's so different. So do we think in between those trees over there that's going to be flat enough to land? It's not a speed back. I'm going to do one flat. As to whether that's right or not, you can let me know if you watch it. I was hoping we might get a flat area. Get down a bit lower. I have been dropping the second flap on quite often, just at the last moment. But quite often the speed is so high that I tend to then overfly the bit that I've been trying to land on. So, top that hill, that must be okay. So I've got the speed down, I'm getting it down 80. One flat. Please do criticise me in the comments if you wish. So a bit high here because there's going to be a bit of a drop off, isn't there? So I would get it down here now. Would you put the extra flap on? I'm going to do it. So drop the extra flap. Should kill the speed off a bit more. Nose up. Oh, a bit of a bump. But we are down. Right, well, thank you for whoever put that flight plan together. And thank you for watching. But please do comment. And I do hope to be flying as a group flight with you all soon. Thanks for watching.